In Kitchen Nightmares' second season, Gordon Ramsay went to Great Neck, New York, which is on Long Island, to help Trobiano's. The Italian restaurant is owned by Anthony Trobiano, who is 28 years old, his girlfriend Tiffany, and Tiffany's parents, Pat and Joe. The restaurant is named after Anthony. Trobiano's, which is just 3 years old, is struggling. While Anthony is a trained chef who attended culinary school, he has no previous experience working in an Italian restaurant. Despite this, he's very confident in his cooking abilities.
It's my restaurant, my rules, and that should be the bottom line.
Anthony dreams of marrying Tiffany and starting a family with her, but the pressures of running a failing restaurant make him doubt his ability to do so.
The last 3 years have been rough. By this time in my life, I thought we would have been married, had kids already.
Seeing as how Pat and Joe have risked their entire life savings on the restaurant, they would prefer if Anthony took it a bit more seriously.
I put my faith, I put my home, my retirement, my wife's well-being, everything else on the line with this young man.
Gordon is immediately unimpressed upon his arrival by an enormous sign out front of the restaurant, which he initially misinterprets as a for sale sign. The sign instead advertises an amazingly low-cost early bird special for only $14.95. The prices are even lower than those at a sub-sandwich shop, Gordon quips before entering Trobiano's. Gordon walks in and is greeted by the family. To get to the bottom of things at the restaurant, he gathers everyone around the table. During their discussion, Gordon discovers that Anthony, despite owning an Italian restaurant, has never actually worked in one. When he claims to know everything about the business, Gordon questions his arrogance. Tiffany and her parents silently agree. The family acknowledges that there are difficulties in working together, but they all appear to agree that the restaurant's cuisine is not the issue. In terms of the window sign, Anthony introduced this low-cost offering in an effort to keep the business afloat. Because of its reputation for affordable prices, the restaurant becomes packed with elderly customers by 4:30 p.m. for the early bird special. Even though he feels like the youngest customer, Gordon observes that the place is as old and dreary as the people who frequent it. When Gordon asks Pat for recommendations on what to try on the menu, Pat tells him that the salad has already been chopped, which leaves Gordon perplexed as to why anyone would do something like that.
Why would you chop it?
People seem to love it.
Is that because of their teeth?
Maybe.
Gordon is served an eggplant dish first, but it falls short due to the cold, tasteless, store-bought mozzarella. To ensure that he is not alone in his opinion of the eggplant, Gordon asks the elderly women at the table next to him what they think. They simply call it fair. Although one of the ladies is quite smitten by Gordon's vernacular.
I like your British accent.
Thank you. I like your lipstick. It's great spending time in the company of the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls.
Gordon says that the next dish, the shrimp, looks like chicken but tastes awful. It annoys Anthony to no end when word gets back to the kitchen that Gordon hates the first two dishes. Tiffany looks like she is about to cry. I hope the next dish is better. Unfortunately, it isn't. The salmon is dry, so it is returned to the kitchen. Anthony is so upset that he refuses to try the salmon for himself. Many diners who do not finish their large portions take leftovers home, and the restaurant is nearly empty by 7 p.m. Gordon makes use of this period of peace and quiet to have a conversation with the staff about the excessively large portions and his negative dining experience. He emphasizes that the restaurant is losing money because they are essentially serving double entrees. He tells Anthony the truth about the disgusting food and stresses that he needs to taste everything before it's cooked.
But you should not be killing me over my food. I know I'm a great chef. I don't think he knew what he was talking about.
Yes. The guy with 17 Michelin stars doesn't know what he's talking about. Right. After a difficult first day, Gordon bids the family good night and promises to return the following day. As Gordon walks away, he realizes he can't leave for the night just yet. Rather than that, he goes back to the restaurant to inspect the kitchen, where he finds mouse droppings, filth, and equipment that has been neglected altogether. He confronts Anthony regarding the cleanliness of his kitchen. The cleaning is something that Anthony says he doesn't do, and instead leaves it to his staff. After getting fed up with Anthony's justifications, Gordon storms out of the restaurant. After he leaves, Anthony follows him outside. Outside, Gordon tells Anthony that he is fortunate to have been able to get a restaurant like that when he was in his 20s. Anthony talks about his desire to change while listening to Chef Ramsay. Gordon insists on a thorough cleaning of the kitchen over the course of the night, despite the fact that it is well past midnight. Gordon rolls up his sleeves to assist in getting the kitchen cleaned. The next day, Gordon takes the group to a farm to learn how to make fresh mozzarella. They learn how to milk a cow, which none of them had done before. In spite of the fact that Anthony took some time to get the hang of it, it is an activity that brings the entire family together.
Teats are not your strong point, right? Definitely. Let's go.
When they get back to the restaurant, they begin making their own mozzarella using the fresh milk they had brought with them. It's strange to see a Scottish chef teaching an Italian family how to make mozzarella. The best part is, it's only going to take them 45 minutes per day to complete the task, which is why Gordon is urging them to start making fresh mozzarella on a daily basis. During the evening service, Gordon does away with the early bird special, and instead introduces new specials that include pasta and mozzarella. Despite the fact that the restaurant is bustling with customers, Anthony is having trouble adjusting to the expanded menu and continues to forget to taste dishes before sending them out. As the number of orders continues to increase, some of the meals are sent back, and a pan that was forgotten causes a smoke alarm to go off, much to the amusement of the patrons. Gordon even becomes locked out of the restaurant when he goes out back.
Unacceptable. Beyond fucking belief. Now I'm locked out.
The night is a complete and utter failure, and Gordon draws attention to Anthony's most significant mistake, which was that he did not taste the food. The restaurant receives a complete makeover the next day, both inside and out, with a focus on classic fare served in more reasonable portions. Everyone on staff is absolutely thrilled with the new offerings. For the relaunch party, Gordon enlisted the aid of a food critic from Bon Appetit magazine to help up the ante. The revamped mozzarella bar is a hit with customers. At last, after what feels like an eternity, Anthony starts tasting the food before he serves it, and everyone, even the restaurant critic, raves about it. The evening winds down following a successful relaunch, but Gordon still has a surprise for everyone. He gives Anthony a ring to propose to Tiffany while they are still in the restaurant. But Gordon has something else unexpected in store. That night, in the presence of all their guests, they will have an impromptu wedding. Tiffany and Anthony are ecstatic because they have always wanted to get married but have been unable to because of the pressures of running a restaurant. Anthony changes into a tuxedo while Tiffany changes into a wedding gown. Joe does, however, give Anthony a strong warning ahead of time.
You better make my daughter happy. What do you mean? I'll fucking kick your ass.
The episode ends on a positive note, both for the young married couple and for the restaurant.
Chef Ramsay did definitely save our lives. You gotta be kidding me. If he didn't come here, 6 months from now, we'd probably been closed.
Following the restaurant's appearance on Kitchen Nightmares, one could say that things were beginning to look up for the establishment. The episode, which was shot in February of 2008, was scheduled to be broadcast in September of that same year. Sadly, however, the restaurant would close the following month, in October 2008, which was only 1 month after the episode was broadcast on television. They were unable to pay their tax bills, and the authorities had taken possession of the restaurant, which led to the closure of the establishment. Anthony took on a new culinary position after Trobiano's was shut down. This time, he was a chef at Speranzo Fine Italian Food Studio, which is located in Woodbury, New York. Regrettably, Speranzo did not survive for very long, and eventually shut down not long after that, primarily as a result of the poor economic climate at the time. In 2011, Anthony became the executive chef at Chirella's restaurant in Melville. While working at Chirella's, Anthony upheld Chef Ramsay's high standards for the preparation of mozzarella by incorporating it into a wide range of dishes. Anthony went back to school in 2014 to earn his MBA in Business Admin from Walden University. In 2018, Anthony made a significant career change and left the restaurant industry entirely. According to his LinkedIn profile, he is now a sales leader with extensive experience in the distribution of natural products and cannabis. He worked his way up to become Pacific Stone's Vice President of Sales in 2023. With regard to Tiffany, I am not aware of the events that took place in her professional life after she left Trobiano's. Nonetheless, she and Anthony started a family, having 3 children together. If Tiffany and Anthony are still married at this time, I do not know for certain whether or not they are. Their most recent photo together was taken in 2020. On Anthony's LinkedIn profile, it is stated that he has worked for companies based in Florida and California. However, it is possible that he is working remotely for these companies. It is with great regret that I must inform you that Tiffany's mother passed away in 2015. On her Facebook page, Tiffany continues to post about her, even to this day. What happened to the former Trobiano's restaurant in Great Neck? It briefly became Bijan, a Persian restaurant. Nevertheless, it does not appear to have lasted for a very long time. Not long after that, it appeared as though the location that had previously been occupied by Trobiano's was now vacant. The building was eventually demolished and replaced by The Rose, an apartment complex with 2-bedroom units starting at $1.5 million. When all is said and done, it is unfortunate that Trobiano's restaurant did not survive. However, I do hope that Anthony and Tiffany are still together at this point. The fact that Chef Ramsay decided to give you a wedding ring was a very thoughtful gesture.